Alright guys, here we are again with some more of the Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve. And we just completed the first part of the beginning trial in defending, what's her name again? Menimemoism. So I hope you all continue to enjoy watching. We're going to see this next trial through, or at least this part of it. So thank you, and let's do this. Alright, and we are back. 13th of August, 10:41 a.m., Supreme Court of Judicature, Defendants, and Chamber 3. I'm so sorry, Susato. I should have told you about the toxin. Ray. You have a strong sense of responsibility, I know. That's why you decide to shoulder the burden alone. No, that's not it at all. I was just scared of failure coming to light, that's all. So I hope to retrieve the substance from the English woman before anyone found out. Before the trial started, do you remember what you said, Susato? That you had no doubt in your mind about my innocence. That you'd stand by me to the last. I remember. And yet I didn't deserve your trust in me. I hid important details from you, Susato. I completely betrayed your faith in me. Hit me, Susato. I deserve it. No, in fact, throw me to the floor. Oh, I nearly forgot about her Susato takedown. I think that's only reserved for Naruhodo, though. No, that's too good for me as well. Drag me through the city streets. That's a bit much, too. I'm no better, you know. Oh. Even though in my heart I knew that you'd pulled the knife blade from Miss Brett's back, there was just a brief moment when in my mind I doubted you. Susato. I'm sorry. After I stood here and promised you that I'd stand by you and always be on your side, I betrayed your faith in me too. And as such, I failed you as a lawyer. Oh, no. Oh, I missed that one. Hold on. I missed that one. I think this situation has taught both of you a valuable lesson. Placing your unbridled faith in another is no easy task. Yes, Father. That fact has certainly struck home. Which is why I can see more clearly now. So, Ray. Yes? Can you find it in your heart to forgive me? Oh, Susato. You know you'll always be a gallant, dashing lawyer in my eyes now. Oh my gosh, that's funny. Oh, Ray. Well, now that I know how she looks in that lawyer outfit because of the bonus outfit we got, I couldn't tell what outfit she was wearing for the trial. I was so scared, you know, when it happened. I didn't know what was going on. The Englishwoman was sitting at the back of the hut, listening to what I was saying. I know it was you who stole the poison. Well now, whatever do you mean? And then a moment later, she suddenly got to her feet, before collapsing on the floor in front of me with a knife in her back. It all happened right before my eyes. And you were the only people in the hut at the time? That's right. Just Miss Brett and myself. There was no one else. So I just don't understand how she could possibly have been stabbed like that. A great mystery indeed. I still can't believe it happened. That's why I just couldn't bring myself to speak up. It'll be alright. However it happened and whatever really went on by the sea that day, I promise you that I'm gonna prove everything you've said you saw is true. Spoken like a true Mikotoba. Now, I think we should discuss what's coming up in the trial, don't you? We don't have much time. We must make sure we have all our facts in order. There you go. Yes, I expect the poison is going to come under close scrutiny in the upcoming proceedings. The police should hopefully have identified it on the blade by now. The trouble is, it's a completely new laboratory synthesized blend of alkaloids. The police won't have any way of testing for it. Oh, I see. Yes. Without the chemical region, it's impossible to detect the toxin. Chemical region? I sent a colleague of mine off with some earlier to deliver to police headquarters. I think perhaps you should have some as well, though, just in case. Ah, okay, we got that for the court record. What's the matter, Susato? You're suddenly very quiet. It's this newspaper article. Exclusive, deadly poison stolen from Yume Medical Research Laboratory. I'm wondering how the information got out given that it was a government secret. It was all that English woman's doing. What? It was when the professor and Saseki-san were being interviewed at the laboratory. That so-called English lady Swan, and without any compunction, said to Professor Mikotoba, "Oh, Professor, surely your guest would love to hear about your work on that substance there." It put me in a very awkward position, to be frank. But Saseki-san's curiosity had been piqued, so I had little choice but to give him a cursory introduction. So then Saseki-san knew about the poison? Yes, and it's highly likely that the reporter who was writing out the story about us would have caught a glimpse of the toxin too. This Menimemoism. By the way, did that reporter join you all when you went to the beach? Oh, no, I don't remember the reporter being there. Indeed, he shouldn't have been. I very much doubt anyone would have wanted him there. Oh? A known criminal had been given permission by the authorities to bathe by the seaside. Saseki-san pointed out that inviting a reporter might be problematic, so the man was sent back to his office. Yet he obviously didn't go back. He secretly followed the party to the beach and took this very candid photograph. And then presumably he posted it anonymously to the police. Ah. Yes, that must be what happened. Counsel, we've just heard that the new witness is now ready to testify. The trial is about to resume. Please proceed into the courtroom at once. It's time to steel ourselves once again then. Defense Attorney Ryotaro Naruhodo. Yes! Ray has put her faith in me now and told me everything, so I can't let her down. I have to prove that what she's telling the court is true. I have to prove what really happened that day. Alright, it's time to prove her innocence. 13th of August, 11:30 a.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, Courtroom Number 1. Alright guys, round 2. I hereby call this court to order as we reconvene to continue the trial of Ray Membami. Prosecutor Aochi, have you summoned the new witness? Before I address that question, Your Excellency, I have some very important news to share. Oh? What news? Why does he look so happy about it? During the recess with the collaboration of Professor Mikotoba's laboratory at Yume University, the police re-examined that knife that was used to end Mr. Zelbrecht's life. Excellent. I admire your rapid handling of the matter. Oh, too kind. Your Excellency, too kind. I was merely carrying out your instructions, of course. I had the region delivered to the police headquarters by rickshaw, so it would be there in good time. But judging by the man's swagger, I fear we might not need to brace ourselves for the inevitable. Or we might need to. And counsel, what were the results? The dagger, which was so cruelly used to end the life of the victim, has no trace of poison anywhere along its blade. What? Are you sure about that? Well, the father just said that it's a new type of poison and it probably wouldn't have been identifiable on the blade anyway. I would stake the reputation of the police on it. What about your rep, huh? Armed with the region, the test is extremely simple. They couldn't have made a mistake. At least we got the murder weapon now. In short, the accused's feeble excuse earlier has been utterly destroyed. Ah! Now, the prosecution is ready to call the new witness. Ah, the newspaper reporter who managed to capture a photograph of the crucial moment. Good. Very well, officer. Bring in the witness. No trace of poison on the knife. But if that's really the case, how could the toxin have entered the victim's body? Ah, it's this guy. Witness, please state your name and occupation for the court. Raiten Menimeno, Mini memo of the Shoyu News. I'm what people like to call a journo. What's a journo, Father? Do you know? It's simply a contraction of journalist. I'm there where the news breaks, putting pen to paper to catch those scoops so they're in print in the next morning. They don't call me the hero of the Herald for nothing. The nice guy of news. Oh, so, it was you who took the photograph, was it? Well, well, what have we here? I'm sorry? Ooh, brace yourselves, people. A many memo senses a scoop in the offing. Female student up to foul play, defended by curiously handsome young lawyer in the Supreme Court. The readers will lap this up. We'll set it above the fort at 72 in a 5-leg format for the morning edition. Huh? Right then, let's start with your name. Oh, it's Ryotaro Naruhodo. Next, what made you want to become a lawyer? I wanted to reform our country's legal system, I suppose. Ryotaro has suddenly become very ambitious, I see. I just borrowed Kazuma-sama's dream for a while. By the way, my name is Taketsuchi Aochi. That's Taketsuchi Aochi. The so-called dark horse of the Supreme Court, my objections strike fear into every defense lawyer's heart. No, the readers won't buy that. What? Witness? Yes? What this court demands to know is whether or not you were responsible for the taking of this picture. Oh, I always do that. Hold on. It was delivered anonymously to the Imperial Police Bureau only yesterday. Look at his hand right here. All that ink. That might be a clue somewhere down the line too. Yeah, it wouldn't be a journo if I didn't click quick when presented with a scoop like that, now would I? Sometimes stories call out to me. Sometimes I have to chase them down, but either way, you've got to be fast. Fast legs to run with and fast hands to write with. It's no good if you don't note it down, I always say. That's what I call my Menimemoism. Okay. Menimemoism? Ah yes, I remember your face. We met that day when you were interviewing myself in Saseki-san. Yes, right, that was me. Menimemo again. But you were supposed to be going back to Shoyu News offices after our meeting. But the scoop is, I didn't. Because that Englishwoman's words had piqued my journalistic interest. Miss Brett's words? A criminal left to do as she pleases just because she happens to be a British citizen? It's horse dung. This country's judiciary is rotten to the core. The Supreme Court's rulings aren't worth the paper they're written on. The police are just imperial pawns. Stay your tongue, young man. There are complex political issues at play. Well, anyway, I quickly jotted down these words she said in my mini memo pad. Try saying that fast, guys. I'm already having trouble pronouncing and reading half the times here. Are you ready? I'll read it out. It's all here. Right here goes. I should like to go with everyone to see your country's coast. A serious criminal going on some junket? The people need to know about this. That's why I decided to sneak after them. To get the woman's story so I could hammer her in the press. Do you mean to say that you did indeed witness it firsthand? The grim scene portrayed in this photograph? Oh yes, I saw with my own journal eyes. From start to finish, through the viewfinder of my trusty camera. Thank you, Menimemoism. You will now give a formal testimony before the court. You will say exactly what it is that you witnessed of the events surrounding Miss Brett's death. Ah, witness testimony time. The camera never lies. The beach hut was made of shoddy old reed screens, so there were plenty of gaps I could see inside through. The Englishwoman was sitting on a stool when the student girl came in and started arguing with her. Seconds later, the girl pulled out a knife, throwing the Englishwoman to the floor as she stabbed her in the back. Really? My smoldering journal spirit burst into flames. Quick as a flash, I whipped out my camera, ready to click. I pulled apart the rough weave of one of the screens and poked the lens through for the perfect shot. Does that guy have 4 suspenders? Reed screens, you say? Right. You can see them clearly enough in that great shot I snapped. The hut walls were just screens made of coarsely woven reeds. Yes, and I missed out again. It allows breeze to pass through and bring some relief from the summer heat. And it was a breeze for me to poke my camera through and see the whole thing hotting up. Ignoring for the time being the appalling invasion of privacy involved, did you witness everything that happened from the moment the defendant entered the hut? Oh yes, I saw it. I saw the whole thing from start to finish. And you say that you took the photograph through a gap in one of the screens? Luckily for me, they were pretty shoddily woven. I pulled the reeds apart and thrust the lens of my camera through the gap. Would I get away with it? Or would I be seen? It was the gamble of a lifetime. A tenacity of purpose that's considered admirable in our journalists, I suppose. Run a risk one day, run a scoop the next. That's Menimemoism. Oh my gosh. Menimemoism in a nutshell. At last, it would appear we have a genuine witness to this wicked crime. The evidence and testimony are extremely compelling. I believe we may be close to a verdict. No. Wonderful news, Your Excellency. Wonderful. Nevertheless, it cannot be denied that this testimony begs one very large question. What question? Exclusive news, a startling photograph, all the makings of an exceptional story for the reporter. Why then was the story never published? Oh, that's right. It seems clear to me that there are circumstances at play here that are yet to be understood. Ha! More pathetic excuses. Very well then, counsel. Proceed with your cross-examination. Yes, Your Excellency. There's more to this reporter than meets the eye. He's keeping something about this case very close to his chest. Or his suspenders. Alright, it's my go. The beach hut was made of shoddy old reed screens, so there were plenty of gaps I could see inside through. The Englishwoman was sitting on a stool when the student girl came in and started arguing with her. Seconds later, the girl pulled out a knife, throwing the Englishwoman to the floor as she stabbed her in the back. I am pressing this. What?
Hold it!
Do you swear before this court that you actually saw the precise moment when the stabbing took place? Ha! The precise moment? I didn't see just that. I saw the whole hellish scene play out from start to finish. I have here a simple plan of the beach hut. Perhaps you could use it to explain to the court exactly what you witnessed. Right you are. It's all here in my memo pad. When I first appeared the hut, I'm sure that the Englishwoman... I missed that again. Was on this stool at the back of the hut here, okay? Yes, the accuser's own testimony confirmed that. She just sat at the back of the hut smiling sweetly is what I have noted down. It's my turn to testify now. Try not to interrupt. Then, the next moment as I was watching, the evil student girl entered the hut. After a while, the pair of them ended up in the middle of the hut arguing furiously. The Englishwoman went for the student, but the girl dodged out of the way. And in a flash, plunged the knife into her adversary's back as the two passed each other. Huh. What you described is a grim scene indeed. Never sugarcoat the truth. That's what Menimemoism says. Alright, so now we got the beach hut plan. By the way, Menimemo-san, whilst you were watching that terrible scene unfold before your eyes through the gap in the screen, did it not occur to you to try to prevent the tragedy rather than capture it on film? Journos have to be observers. We can't get involved. That's our raison d'etre. So, you didn't converse with Miss Brett at all? Obviously not. An observer always remains on the outside looking in. And that's something to be proud of, is it? Your Excellency, if I may. Yes, Professor. I think the witness's last expertly phrased statement should perhaps be added to his formal testimony. Father, what are you? I will grant the defense's request. Menimemo-san, you will supplement your formal testimony with the aforementioned statement. Well, nihilism is the foundation of Menimemoism, but I'll gladly prove that my words aren't meaningless. I never once set foot in the hut, nor spoke with the observer. He claims to have spied the whole affair from start to finish. If true, his testimony is devastating. But it does seem as though he's holding something back, doesn't it? If that's how you feel, I suggest that you trust your instincts and press him on everything he said. As you've no doubt seen done many times before in your role as judicial assistant. Yes, I have. I've seen witnesses like this pressed often. I know exactly what to do. Alright then. Press everything then.
Hold it!
What made you want to see what was happening inside the beach hut in the first place? Call it journal instinct. Can you think of a better reason? Oh, I don't know. Perhaps because as well as being a proven criminal, the person inside was a young woman? Ah, I see where you're going with this. Brace yourselves, people. He's painting the journal as a voyeur. It's hardly slander, sir. You had a camera and you were taking pictures without the woman's knowledge. Nope, you've got it all wrong, you little student boy. Sorry. To my mind, all that was inside that hut was a scoop. Nothing more, nothing less. That's an easy sidestep, though. Scoops know no gender, man or woman, it's all news. That's not even Menimemoism, it's basic journalism. If only the courtroom was as indiscriminate. Right, so if that's all buttoned up, can we move on? Tell the court then, witness, what sight befell your eyes when you looked inside the hut? A sight that vindicated my journal instinct, that's what. When I pulled back the reeds, I could see it all as clear as day. The Englishwoman was sitting on a stool when the student girl came in and started arguing with her.
Hold it!
So you actually saw Membami-san entering the hut? Yup, and she was raging like my journal spirit. And the argument you mentioned, what was that about exactly? You stole it, I didn't steal it, that kind of thing. Talking about the poison, I suppose. The student girl walked right up to the Englishwoman and really started laying into her. I mean, if she'd laid into her anymore, there would have been eggs. The man should have been an author. His descriptive talents are wasted on journalism. But the student's rantings fell on deaf ears. Like a Japanese person listening to English for the first time. He really ought to work on his smiles first, though, to be honest. Anyway, the point is, that woman in the dock was mightily angry. And her temper finally got the better of her, it seems. Dear me. Which was the climactic moment that I caught on film. Seconds later, the girl pulled out a knife, throwing things up. My smoldering journal spirit burst into flames quick as a flash. I whipped out my camera, ready to click.
Hold it!
The court is fully aware of your desire to capture the incident on film, I'm sure. But why then did you choose to post the photograph anonymously to the police? I'm afraid I don't understand a word that's coming out of your mouth. Oh, now you don't understand me. I'm asking why, as a journalist, you decided not to make a story out of the incident. Think of me as a sculptor. A sculptor who makes art out of the sordid private details of other people's lives. But I never discuss my own personal life on principle. I mean, that's basic Menimemoism. It's not something to boast about. No doubt your burning desire to see the truth exposed and justice done was what motivated you. That's it, that's brilliant! My burning desire to see something or other exposed. There has to be a good reason why he didn't think to write an article about what he saw there. By your own admission, you were outside the hut. How then did you manage to take the photograph? Aha, yes, that. I'm glad you asked. I pulled apart the rough weave of one of the screens and poked the lens to the perfect shot.
Hold it!
But the two women inside didn't notice? Ha! Obviously not. If they had, where would I be right now? In jail, that's where. Which you'd think would make you reflect on what you were doing. No, a journal's job is to collect little snippets of life as unobtrusively as possible. Leave nothing but footprints, take nothing but photos. Yes, that's spot on. Did you just pick that up? The point is, the witness risked life and limb to obtain this photograph. And this photograph reveals to be true. There is nothing more to be said. I never once set foot in the hut nor spoke with the Englishwoman. I was there only as an observer.
Hold it!
Really? You didn't set foot inside the hut at all? Are you quite sure about that? I think you may have the wrong impression of me. We're talking about a murder scene here. My nerves are stretched to breaking point already. Oh, I see. You were scared. Maybe I did have the wrong impression of you, yes? It was all I could do to stifle a scream and hold my hand steady enough to snap the shot. You really should have summoned help before thinking of your camera. Menimemoism and humanism don't always agree. And most of the time, in those instances, Menimemoism comes out on top. Huh. As a sculptor of stories, sometimes I have to be cruel for my art. Yes, that's spot on. Surely he's making all this up. Alright guys, since I pretty much pressed every part of this of the witness's statements, I think I should be examining. Hold on a second. Let's try it. What have I not checked out yet? Let me check out the fountain pen. Okay, there's initials here. Hold on. The RM initials are very clearly engraved here. And the fact that Miss Brett was clinging to this pen in her dying moments is very clearly a message too. To identify her killer, you mean? I don't think there can be any doubt that this is a key piece of evidence in this case. Alright, at least we examined that. Hold on. If we take off the pen's lid. Oh, okay. Nothing appears to be obviously out of ordinary here. Oh. Now let's unscrew the barrel, shall we? This must be a little reservoir that holds the ink. Yes, you fill it by drawing ink from a bottle up through the nib. Is something wrong, Father? Just that there doesn't actually appear to be any ink in there, that's all. Oh yes, you're right. It's pretty much empty. Well, it could be on the verge of running out, I suppose. Or maybe that's where they put the poison. Alright, so details have been updated. There's some sort of emblem here, look. But must be to some other organization, I suppose, a business of some kind. But that would seem to imply that the pen doesn't in fact belong to Ray. Okay, I found a pen bearing the initials RM and an emblem of some description there. There's a very amount of liquid still inside the ink reservoir. Alright,
Objection!
Many memos on until now, I've had a firm belief that newspapers are in the business of uncovering and publishing the truth. You're spot on there. The press don't lie, which is why I'm proud to wear the emblem of the Show You News on my arm. In a way, that's more Menimemoism. Sadly, though, it seems the journalists who write for those papers don't always share the same passion for the truth. What are you suggesting with those recriminatory words, Counsel? Menimemo-san, do you recognize this fountain pen? This pen was found at the scene of Miss Brett's death. In fact, the murder victim was gripping it in her hand as she died. What are you? If you look at the barrel of the pen, you'll notice that its owner's initials are engraved there. R.M. Yes, thank you for bringing that up, Counsel. The initials of the accused, Ray Membami. Is it a coincidence, I wonder, that your initials are also R.M.? No! Right in Menimemo, R.M. That's horse dung. Can't you see? One of the essential tenets of Menimemoism is being a pencil user. And yet, as the court will clearly be able to see on your right hand, there is a very obvious blue ink stain. It would appear that you must have rather carelessly left it somewhere recently. Your favorite fountain pen, that is. Horsey horse dumb. Menimemoism, is it not the case that before she died, you met with Giselle Brett in that beach hut?
Objection!
Why should we listen to this absurd nonsense? It's nothing but another excuse. Exactly. Shoyu News will stand behind me all the way. I deny everything. There must be as many people with the initials RM as there are stars in the night sky. The defense has neither the time nor the inclination to count every star in the sky. Huh? And there's no need anyway because the pen has more to tell. Yes, there is another clue. A clue that undeniably proves who its owner really is. In that case, counsel, the defense will now show the court where this alleged clue lies. Of course, Your Excellency. The clue on this fountain pen that clearly reveals its owner's identity is... Alright guys, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to end the video here for today. Thank you all for watching, but when we come back, we will continue this trial and point out the clue that will help us in this trial. So until the next one guys, thank you for watching.